How to succeed. After preaching at church, I asked everyone to pray according to what I had preached, and the result was 100% success. So, what happened? Well, I was on a missionary trip to Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, and I was asked to preach in a church of hundreds of people. And I chose the text, which was the woman who was suffering from continuous bleeding, and that's in Mark chapter 5, 25 to 34 in the Voice Bible version. And I'll read to you verses 27 to 29, where it says, "She had heard of this miracle man Jesus, so she snuck up behind him in the crowd and reached out her hand to touch his cloak. The woman, to herself, thought in verse 28, even if all I touch are his clothes, I know I will be healed." And then finally in verse 29, as soon as her fingers brushed his cloak, the bleeding stopped. She could feel that she was whole again. So, what I asked everyone after preaching on this text of the Bible was to do as this woman had done, who was suffering from continuous bleeding for 12 years. And in prayer, I asked them all after the sermon to reach out their hand like this woman had done, and to, in their mind, in their thoughts, when they have their eyes closed, to visualize that they are actually touching the cloak of Jesus. And so I gave them a few minutes to do that. And then afterwards, I asked them to give testimony and witness of what had happened when they prayed, as I asked them all to pray for either their needs or the needs of someone else, whether it be healing, deliverance, or anything else, to ask for miracles, to pray for God's intervention. And the result, as I said, was like 100% success. In the testimonies, everyone was either healed, blessed, delivered, touched by the Lord, and they all felt the presence of God. Now, here, if I'd have had to pray myself for all of these people after the sermon, it would have taken all day and all night. But instead, in just a few minutes, everyone prayed for themselves or for those they wanted to pray for who needed healing or deliverance. And it was absolutely miraculous because all of them, all 100%, gave witness and testimony that the Lord had intervened and answered their prayers. Now, after the service, everyone wanted to shake my hand and to thank me. And so they were all queuing up. There was a long line. And it took more than an hour for these hundreds of people to all pass by and thank me and shake my hand. And that shows how powerful it is when we enable other people to be powerful in prayer. You see, this is the principle of delegation, of delegating. Now, that is one of the most important qualities of good management. It's to delegate responsibility. Like we see in the second book of Timothy, chapter 2, verse 2, where it says, "Whatever you heard me teach before an audience of witnesses, I want you to pass along to trustworthy people who have the ability to teach others too." And so, when all the people heard the testimonies of all the things that God had done for them whilst they were praying, then this also taught them the power of prayer and how one can put into practice the words of the Bible. And so that is how to succeed.